more breaking news, believe it or not. French prosecutors say the suspected mastermind of the Paris attacks was actually killed in the police raid.
Yeah, that was the big news that came down internationally just a short time ago. Autopsy results now confirming that Abdelhamid Aboud was indeed killed in yesterday's raid. French officials say his body was found in an apartment building targeted in that raid where there were massive explosions and gunfire yesterday just outside of Paris. The body confirmed using skin samples. Not a whole lot left after all the shots that we heard yesterday. We're going to find out a little bit more throughout the morning on that developing story.
All right, in other news right now, just hours after being added to the state's most wanted list, the man considered to be an armed and dangerous fugitive is now in custody. Investigators say Darcel Wright, a.k.a. Robert Jackson, was arrested just before midnight in Hardeman County, which is in West Tennessee. The 21-year-old was wanted in Clarksville, where he's accused of shooting into an SUV, hitting a man multiple times back in May. 2 children were also inside but were not hurt. Wright is facing attempted criminal homicide charges.
New details coming in this morning about a man accused of shooting a Sumner County deputy overnight. News Channel 5's Cuthbert Langley joins us outside of the county jail with the very latest, and thank goodness for bulletproof vests. Cuthbert.
Absolutely, Steve. Officials tell us that is what saved Deputy Philip Douglas's life last night. He was shot in the chest, rushed to an area hospital, but he is okay this morning. And this man, 50-year-old James Cummins, is in jail right now, charged with attempted first-degree murder. Authorities say he started shooting as Deputy Douglas was responding to his home in Bethpage around 5:30 last night. When Douglas got out of his cruiser, Cummins allegedly started firing at him from inside the home. Douglas shot back but was hit in the chest just as backup responded to the area. A short time later, deputies were able to take Cummins into custody, and even though the deputy fired at him, Cummins was not hurt. We spoke with the chief last night, who says Douglas's vest and his skills saved his life.
It's a terrible feeling. I had gotten home and I got the call and got back in the car to head out here because the deputy is fantastic. He's one of the very best, and he has some of the best tactics, and he's one of the most well prepared that we have.
We're told that Douglas has been working with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for years now, but was just promoted to full-time deputy within the last year and a half. The suspect, meanwhile, still here in jail this morning on a $750,000 bond. We're live in Gallatin this morning. Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Cuthbert. Some scary moments at a VA hospital in Rutherford County after an armed man tried to walk in. We're told the man was spotted just outside the Alvin C. York campus in Murfreesboro around 6 last night. No word yet on what kind of weapon he had or why he was there. Police quickly arrived and took him into custody, but it's unclear if he's facing any charges this morning.
A new threat by ISIS has New York City on a heightened state of vigilance this morning. The terror group releasing a propaganda video showing scenes of the Big Apple and a man preparing a suicide vest yesterday. The Department of Homeland Security maintains there are no specific or credible threats to New York City right now, but officials there are urging residents just to go to work and go about your normal daily lives. Do not be intimidated.
And it will be a tough day for the residents of Scottsville, Kentucky. Friends and family will say goodbye for the last time to the 7-year-old found murdered nearly a week ago. Matthew Torres joins us this morning. And Matthew, do they have an update on the investigation?
Well, Amy, the last update we got from Kentucky State Police is that they are ruling Gabby Doolin's death as a homicide. I just reached out to the KSP again this morning to get an update. And of course, as soon as we get more information, we'll update you guys. But in the meantime, family and friends are getting ready to say their final goodbyes to the second grader. All week long, we have seen people show their outpour of support, starting out with the vigil on Sunday and their visitation at the funeral home. Gabby was cheering for her brother's football game on Saturday when she went missing. She was found in a creek behind the school, but we still don't know how she was killed. What we do know is the amount of support from the community, whether it was at her school or that vigil held 24 hours after she was found dead.
This community is standing in solidarity with this family in prayers and hopes and praying that peace would rule again in this community. And we are also praying that there would be a speedy disposition of this case, that whoever did this would be found.
The final visitation is this morning at the Goad Funeral Home in Scottsville. There will be a funeral service just after that at 1 p.m. at Scottsville Baptist Church. In the newsroom, I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
Matthew, thank you. The search for a trio of shoplifters who also pepper sprayed a store worker in Madison is now on. We're told it happened at the Burke's Outlet and Dick's Sporting Goods on North Gallatin Pike Tuesday. Just minutes later, detectives say they stole also a woman's purse outside of the Walmart nearby. They're driving a maroon Chrysler PT Cruiser. If you recognize them, and there's a pretty good surveillance picture of one of the suspects right there, and there are the other two. If you recognize them at all, contact Crime Stoppers at 615-74-CRIME. You saw the picture of the PT Cruiser right there as well.